Okay, so the volume just it defaulted, probably because I did a Windows update yesterday. So now we should have volume. You talk.
I would be happy to talk.
Did a Windows update.
Do we have
All
volume?
right, yeah, we're good. We're good. Okay, small
Okay.
mishap.
I
Okay,
can I can hear it now. We're good.
everybody, calm down. Jesus.
I was getting worried.
All right, so I need you to look at the chats. I have some questions written down that I've received via the interstate,
Okay.
aka the internet. I'll get into those soon, but I just want to make sure that okay, so we have 2 viewers right now on all 3 platforms combined. Pretty impressive.
And it's probably
So
us, but
now 3. Uh-oh, here we go.
all right.
Okay, so let me
Can you show
just
off your Illini gear to the fans?
okay. You know that's too far, but that's fine. I expected this. Should I get into one of the questions I have,
Yeah.
or what?
I think since we're up and going and everything's good.
And I don't want to sit here for 24 hours.
Yeah, let's get into it. You got some questions.
Okay, I'm gonna start from the bottom because the first couple are pretty, more interesting. If I start from the bottom, the first question is, who's a more important player this season, Georgie or DeMonte? Go.
DeMonte.
I think it's Georgie.
I just think because I think that with Hawkins and Bosman Verdonk, well, if he's healthy, Hutcherson, Grandison, I don't think that Georgie having an off night's going to matter as much. I think DeMonte, I think that his game is I just going to be more leaned on towards than Georgie's throughout the season. He's going to have a lot more playing time, I feel. So I would definitely say DeMonte.
They don't need guard play as much as they need big men because they're going to have a lot of issues up front if someone goes down. Georgie comes in. Plus, what did Georgie say on the radio when he said a curse word? He's back.
He's back. He did say that.
He's going to be very important.
With the woodworking skills and everything, he's back and good to go. So,
but I will say, the physicality and defensive play that DeMonte has is going to be important. They're both going to be very important because I'm assuming both of them will start on the bench, right? I mean, there's no way either of them starts.
I don't believe so. Well, DeMonte might. That's a good question.
Io, Trent, Miller, Kofi, and who? Miller's going to start. Absolutely.
DeMonte. I think it's DeMonte.
That's a pretty small lineup, though.
But I think Kofi, I think Georgie's going to come into a role more of Kofi needs a break. I think that's going to be his role because he played a lot better when he was at the 5 than he did at the 4. So I think that they need to get him back into that since they have enough guys now to play the 1 through 4 spot. So
will they start? Who? I don't see a lineup with DeMonte being big enough in conference play and actual important games.
I don't know.
They need someone else.
Underwood likes him that much. I was surprised that he started most of the year last year. So
it's probably a matchup thing. If you're playing a smaller lineup, you're not going to need a 4 and a 5 that are big.
Do you think that DeMonte, that he's going to interchange the lineup a lot this year? Because he's never really done that, matchup to matchup. Underwood's always kept it. This is kind of my lineup. Here you go.
If they are winning, I don't really see a point to change it. Like if they win their first 4 games, or if they're 4-0 or 5-0 going into the Duke or Baylor game, if they play Baylor before Duke, then I don't think you change it. But when you're facing a team that has a legitimate front court with 2 guys, I don't see how that works. I mean, DeMonte's a great defender, but are you going to have him go up against someone else's 4 who's a lot bigger than him?
He did last year.
I'm concerned because you look at Iowa, for example, okay? Kofi on Luka. Garza, whatever the hell his name is. Is that his name? I don't even know. I don't even care. I could care less
Close
about
enough.
that guy. At the 4, who's gonna play for Iowa at the 4? I can't even remember his name. Wieskamp, is he gonna play the 4? I feel like he's more of a 3.
They had that other kid. What was his name?
I don't care about Iowa basketball enough, huh? Jeez. I can find this within seconds. I'll tell you that. And this is a live stream, so you can pretty much do whatever you want.
We just hang out, look at rosters.
No one wants to talk to us. Obviously, that's evident. Jeez.
It's all right. We got time. What was his name? Was he a senior last year?
So apparently their lineup projected is going to be Bohannon, Frederick, Wieskamp, Garza, and Jack Nunge, who only played 5 games last year and is a 6'11" redshirt junior. They're going to be big. They're going to be big.
245. He is a big dude. Okay. All right.
6'1", 6'3", 6'6",
So, yeah.
2 6'11s.
Definitely going to need Georgie in again with them. But
you know what's interesting? On 3-Man Weave, the website that I've been looking at for some of this like preview stuff, they have Wisconsin as number 1 in the Big Ten, Illinois is 2, and Michigan State is 3, Iowa is 4.
Wow.
So I don't know about that.
I don't know. Wisconsin is getting a lot of love.
And they say Frazier, Miller, DeSumo, DeMonte, Kofi. So that's 6'2", 6'3", 6'5", 6'3", 7. But I don't think that lineup works against Iowa. I think, Coleman Hawkins is going to be an important player off the bench. And if there's injuries.
Yep. Underwood seemed really happy about how good he's playing. He could see more time over Georgie because he's the same. They're about the same height, right?
Hawkins is 6'10", Georgie's 6'9". That's just the listing. How accurate is it actually? We don't know.
2 inches off at least.
So, I just think Georgie and DeMonte are going to be damn near equally important.
Yep. You're going to need a good season out of both of them, that's for sure.
And the fact that they're playing in a conference that is pretty loaded this year. Like 6, 7 tournament teams, 8 maybe, that are like legitimate, like top 9 seed teams that could actually do something. That changes things a little bit. So we took 7 hours in the first question. That's a good one for sure.
Just killing time.
Swami, aka Ryan Evan, who we had on the pod a couple months ago, says, "Welcome to the world of social media Illini talk." He'll retweet it for us. Shout out. Thank you for that.
Thanks, Ryan.
We have 6.4 million viewers on Twitter right now, so we're doing well there. 17 is actually what we have because you retweeted it. So
good to hear.
Send us the questions that you have for the season.
Twitter pulled up, so.
And here's a question that I am going to be honest. I kind of wrote this one down just because I wanted to see your answer of this one.
Okay.
Is Underwood going to run that quote-unquote weird weave offense again at all too much? Which he did. He did that way too much.
I believe that he will run that. I think that he believes it opens up the floor more.
Stupid.
I think with the lineups that we're going to have, mostly guard-orientated, I feel like that's going to be – and I don't know how well – like, it always scared me last year when Griffin got the ball if he wasn't catching and shooting. So maybe with the Curbellos and Millers handle the ball better, I think that it might open up the court better. And I still need to talk sometime about that Gentry thing. He went over some plays that they have that get ran out of that, and it was pretty interesting. They were bringing Georgie up as a ball handler in one of the plays. I believe it's called Laker, and in that Georgie is supposed to come off a screen if he doesn't have anything. I believe if Hawkins or those guys, they can handle the ball better. Granderson, Hutcherson, I get them backwards every time. I feel like that you are going to see that, but you'll see these plays that are ran better having a 4 that can handle the ball better. So
it's very easy to do that, by the way. The backwards thing with Granderson and Hutchinson. Why are their names like that?
I don't know. I feel like they're backwards, but.
All right, here's another one. Will Georgie be good again this season?
Yes. I have a lot of confidence that Georgie's going to figure it out. He was getting better in the position last year, but again, I think that he's going to be more when the lineup lets it, depending on who they're playing, he's going to be more of a guy that comes in and gives Kofi a breather. I don't know if we see them on the court as much this year as we saw them last year.
There's more depth this year in terms of size, like Hawkins off the bench. And like last year, let's be honest, Hamlin has had no business playing in an important conference game or a good non-conference opponent. That just it was one of those things where you had to play him because you have foul trouble with your 2 big guys. This year they should be a little bit more flexible in that regard. And if Georgie doesn't shoot 3-pointers, I think that's a big step forward right there. If he just stops doing that dumb shit, because
Kofi's going to start shooting them now, so
which is going to irritate both of us, I'm sure, at some point. And they have more shooting this year. The shooting was a big concern last year, because Frazier had an off season. Adam Miller, I expect, should be a huge piece for their shooting and getting better at that and being more consistent at it. So I would expect, and I don't think Frazier's going to be as bad in terms of what you expect his first 2 seasons last year shooting as he will. I think he'll be better at it this year.
Yeah, in that you go through that as a shooter. I never was one, but from what people tell me,
I don't. I'm 100% consistent at all times.
Right. I feel like it's a lot like golf. I play a lot of golf, and putting, chipping. It's just a feel thing, and when you're not feeling it, it's hard to get over.
When I played for the first time in a month on Saturday, I forgot how to putt. So,
well, and you played on hard course today. How'd you like that?
That sucked. It was impossible. And also, there's guys in front of us leaving the pins on the green, so we couldn't even see the pin on like 3 of the holes.
They were just laying them down. Yeah.
What are they, drunk or something? Jeez, probably. But
good chance.
Another thing with Frazier is I don't think they're going to key in on him as much as they may have in the last couple of years because you're adding Miller to the offense.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, Io is going to be the number 1 guy people are going to try to shut down or slow down. And that opens the floor up right there for the other guys. And if DeMonte, doesn't overdo it in terms of shooting, because he was good at shooting at the end of the season last year, if he doesn't overdo that, you'll have another guy. If he just picks his spots, if he's open in the corner with less than 8 on the shot clock,
and
go for it. Yeah.
But take them. Take the shots. Don't pass them up is my thing.
I think they will pass them up more so than we would like. The next one is Illinois is 15-1 to win the national title. Florida State and Michigan State are also that. Your thoughts?
Who is leading?
I think I don't have all the numbers, but I think it's.
What are you doing?
Iowa.
Iowa has the best odds of winning.
I think Iowa's like 6-1.
Okay.
It might be Virginia. No.
15-1, I feel, is a good number. I don't really bet futures. I don't bet a lot of anything, but futures on things, those are tough to pick. So 15-1, I'd have to get in touch with somebody and figure out what I thought about that.
I can't find the damn numbers. I think Gonzaga is 19-2, whatever the hell that means. Gonzaga and Villanova are 19-2. Iowa's 10-1. Baylor and Virginia are 11-1. Kentucky 13-1. Illinois 15-1. Because these numbers have moved. Because Florida State is now 25-1, and Duke is 16-1. Michigan State 18-1. Wisconsin also 18-1. Interesting. Wisconsin has to be the most overrated team in the Big Ten going into the season, right?
And maybe they'll surprise you. I just did. They were not. I didn't feel watching them. And of course, I watched them more play Illinois than anybody else, but they did not seem like a team that this year would be that hyped. But
Think
they
about
did
their
win
schedule down the
their
stretch,
Big
though.
Ten title. So.
Think about their schedule down the stretch last year, though. That played a huge part in them being able to win the regular season Big Ten. And you think about this, Iowa and Illinois are returning better rosters than Wisconsin, in my opinion. They're both Iowa and Illinois are getting their big studs back, and their big studs are better than Wisconsin's. Plus, Illinois has good recruits coming in. It just doesn't. I don't get the whole thing with Wisconsin. I don't know. I think Michigan State is right there with Wisconsin too.
Yeah, I feel like, Michigan State's kind of being underlooked, while Wisconsin's being overlooked. So I don't know.
Well, I am under the assumption that as long as Izzo's there, Michigan State is going to be a top 5 Big Ten team when they're healthy.
My buddy just said to 15-1. He said they would have won it last year. So yeah, 15-1 sounds good.
That is ambitious. I think they could have gotten to the Elite 8 if they had a favorable bracket side. But that's very depressing. I don't want to talk about that. That was a tough time. And for everything to collapse on your birthday, it was a whole big thing.
It was the worst birthday ever. I'll never forget it.
The number one thing Wisconsin has going for them is that they have their entire lineup projected as to be seniors. Very experienced team. They're good. I mean, they're going to be right there, top 3 probably. You have Trice, Davis, and Ford, Reavers, and Potter as their starting 5. And all of those guys are pretty consistently a cohesive unit in terms of not one of those guys is that much better than the other. They're all scoring around the same, around 10 a game. But their bench is very inexperienced. They have 5 freshmen on the bench, 2 sophomores, and a redshirt senior. Only 3 of those guys actually played in a game. Those 3 guys that aren't freshmen played very low amounts of minutes. So I think their depth might be somewhat of a concern if they have injuries. But I just don't see it with them in terms of being a top 10 team like some people think they're. I think they're right around like the 11-12 range in the country, and then probably 3rd or 4th in the Big Ten. So I have another one, but this is like the last one that I have. And
if anybody's watching, you got any questions, hit us up.
Questions about anything ever except
they
politics.
don't even have to be about Illini basketball.
Okay. This is a tough one. This is one that's going to make you think. Kind of. Maybe.
Okay. Do I need a pen and paper?
I mean, I have one, but choice is yours.
You're more experienced than me.
Rank the most important newcomers, and they have 5 listed. Miller, Curbelo, Hawkins, Grandison, Hutcherson. You got to rank those 5 in terms of their importance to this year's roster. I already have my answer for this. So.
Yeah, I think I can do that. Miller first.
Yeah, I agree.
Hutcherson. Second.
I disagree.
Okay, Curbelo, Hawkins, and then Grandison.
Okay, so I went Miller number 1. We agree on that. I think Hawkins is number 2. Big size off the bench.
Really?
I think Curbelo is number 3. Now, Curbelo and Hutcherson at 3 and 4 is very close.
Okay.
Very close, because I think Curbelo is behind a lot of guards. He's behind 4 guards, so that could be a problem. And then I think Grandison 5. We have some questions here. Do you think we will beat Mizzou? Yes.
Will we play Mizzou?
By 40. If the game is played, Illinois wins by 40.
Absolutely, we're going to beat Mizzou. I'm pretty sure that these guys want to beat Mizzou real bad this year. And you kind of saw last year, I went down to the game with my brother and my stepdad, and you could tell which team showed up. Illinois just was there. I think they thought they could just walk in and thump them, and Mizzou wanted to win. So absolutely think that Illinois is going to have that fire this year. Hopefully they get to play. I'm kind of sad that we won't be able to go to it in person. It's kind of been our new thing to go down and watch them, but I'm guessing we'll get together and watch them anyways. But.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain that Illinois will win that game going away, no matter what. Because I think even if they don't have their best game against this Missouri team, I just think they're so much better. Like this year they're way better.
They were better last year.
Yeah,
and
but
it didn't matter.
they didn't have it that day. It was one of those bad days. I don't see that happening again, especially against
I don't
a
see
rival.
it happening again. It'd be nice to put Mark Smith away. He's a senior this year, right? Because he was with DeMonte and them. So
I forgot all about him. It just shows you how irrelevant he is.
It'd be nice just to finally get a dub against him.
This one says if Illinois is 3 or 4 in the Big Ten, like you said, who is in front of them? Because I only can see Iowa. I agree with that. I think Illinois is second in the Big Ten.
Yeah, I think he was talking about Wisconsin or Iowa. Or
Yeah,
Wisconsin.
I would say Iowa, Illinois, Michigan State, Wisconsin, or Wisconsin, Michigan State. I think those two are interchangeable. Now, I could see. Go for it. Go for it. 5 shows. I could see Illinois, being the number 1 team going in. I would rank them if I'm working on my top 40 college basketball teams going into the season. I have Illinois as the number 1 team in the Big Ten on that. Am I biased? Look at the screen, and that'll probably tell you that I might be a little bit. But I think it's tough. It's tough. I'll save that one until he gets back. And then let's just look at the Big Ten outside of the top 4. Who do you look at? Do you look at Purdue? Do you look at Indiana? Michigan? I think the Big Ten is really a 4-horse race to start the season because I think the top 4 teams in the Big Ten are a little bit above the rest. Now, if you look at what 3-Man Weave says in terms of their tier ranking of the Big Ten, I think they think it's a little more jumbled together than we would think. Despite the fact that we are geniuses at the Big Ten Conference and know everything about it, of course, they think that 9 teams are in Tier 1. That's a little much for me. I think they should separate Tier 1 and Tier 2 after Iowa. So let me just give you this and tell me your thoughts real quick. We have a comment, haven't looked, but any confirmation on non-conference games yet outside of Duke? There's no confirmation, but they could play Baylor in the Jimmy V Classic in Indianapolis if they move that early December, and then the multi-team event in November in like 3 weeks would be Wright State.
Kick off the season.
Yeah, Wright State, Ohio, and North Carolina A&T in Champaign. So there's that. Here's 3-Man Weave's projected tier standings preseason of the Big Ten. We'll go from 14 to 1. Tier 3, Nebraska, Northwestern. Sounds about right. Tier 2, Maryland, Penn State, Minnesota. Tier 1, Michigan, Rutgers, Ohio State, Indiana, Purdue, Iowa, Michigan State, Illinois, Wisconsin. They have Wisconsin number 1, which is insane to me. But how about Maryland falling? I'm very upset that Illinois couldn't beat a good Maryland team once last year.
Yeah.
They should have won one of those games.
Yep, definitely.
They have Player of the Year, Luka Garza. Again, shocker. Everyone loves him for some reason. I mean, he's a good player, but doesn't do it for me. Probably because I'm biased. Whatever. Coach of the Year, Greg Gard. Homer. These guys are probably from Wisconsin. I'm convinced.
They gotta be.
Newcomer of the Year, Joey Hauser, Michigan State. I forgot he was there. Interesting. Freshman of the Year, Adam Miller, 100% correct. Let's see. This is a good question for you. What's your opinion on recruiting in 2021?
It's a hot mess.
That is.
I'm hoping Illinois gets ETN. It'd be nice to get him. Ty Washington, it sounds like there's a good chance that they have a shot at him. Just a lot of misses lately, so I feel like people are down on the recruiting. There's still 5 or 6 guys out there that Illinois is trying to pursue as far as how far they will get with that pursuing. I don't know if that's the right word. It's just been a hot mess. It feels bad to lose recruit after recruit, especially when they keep going to Memphis. But I think that they still have a good chance to get.
I hate Memphis. You know that, right?
Yes.
I do not like them. Here's a good one. One more from me. Do you think football is winless this year? Because I think yes.
Football? Ouch. No.
I'm gonna look at their schedule and I'll tell you right now.
See who they got left. I think they'll win 2.
The Illinois football team sucks. I mean, that's really the only way you can put that. They suck. And the fact that they had all these issues with Corona, COVID, doesn't help. And Lovie Smith hasn't really done anything yet to prove to me that he's the right coach for the team. Now, let me just preface this by saying I don't root for them or really care what happens to the football team, but I'll watch from afar. Let me see. All right, Minnesota, they're not going to beat an 0-2 Minnesota team. That's not going to happen. Rutgers, they could win that game. Nebraska, Rutgers and Nebraska are both road games. They could maybe pick up one of those. I doubt it. Ohio State, they're going to lose by 100. Iowa, they're going to lose. Northwestern, they'll lose. Yeah, they could go, what is that, 8 games? I could see them going 0-8, 1-7. I could see that for sure. The schedule is not easy, yeah.
Did you find somebody they're going to beat?
Well, Rutgers and Nebraska seem like games they could maybe figure out. I don't know. They're going to lose to Ohio State by 100, so. Let's see. How did the Ty Washington visit go?
I have not heard anything yet.
That's not encouraging. Usually they give you some BS like, it was pretty good. Maybe right. I'll go there, maybe I won't.
And I think it was like a self-guided tour type thing, so I don't know if he met with anybody or anything like that. So we'll as soon as we know something, we'll definitely let you guys know. So
I think that might be it for the questions. Okay, yeah. All right, so we'll wrap this up, and we will be doing another episode of the pod on November 13th-ish, depending on when the schedule comes out, if it ever comes out, if there's even a season, I don't know, whatever. We'll probably do something like this right before the season starts, like a day or two before it starts. So, yeah, thanks for joining us. Make sure to follow the Twitter. Last one here, just you can give a yes or no. Do we have a shot at AJ Casey? No. Probably not.
I'm gonna go with a maybe. If that's doable. I haven't heard a lot about AJ Casey lately, so I don't know.
I just realized that I accidentally put the wrong Twitter @ in the bottom left. What an idiot.
Boy.
All right. So we'll wrap this up. Couple weeks we'll be back with an episode. Couple more weeks after that we'll have a live stream like this, and make sure to follow the podcast, Twitter @ Podcast Lineup, blah, 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 Facebook page, all that stuff. All right, see ya.